Hey guys, what's going on? It's Diary of a Makeup Artist. Today I'm going to do a short brow tutorial to show you guys how to fill in your brow. So as you can see, I've already done one brow here. So I'll zoom in and let you guys take a look at that. And then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the same thing on the other side here. So as you guys can see, my brow is a little bit fuller here, more sparse here. So we're gonna focus a little more attention on the end area. So go ahead and just zoom in a little bit so you guys can follow along. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is use some concealer, and what I'm going to use that for is to give that really nice highlight that you see here under the brow. It's also going to help define the brow a little bit more. So I'm going to use a 252 brush, which, let's see, okay, looks like this. And I already have some concealer on my palette knife here that I'm going to use to highlight under the brow. Now I'm using MAC Studio Finish concealer, and the color that I'm using is NC45, which is a couple shades lighter than my skin tone. I'm using something a little bit lighter because I want the brow to stand out a little bit more. If I wanted it to be a little more natural, NC50 would be a good choice. So I'm gonna go ahead and just load my brush up with some concealer. I'm just gonna start patting it under the brow. Take a little bit more, and then this is gonna go right on top of the brow because it's gonna help us define the top of the brow as well. And so what I like to do is just feather it out a little bit around the edges, just to kind of help it blend off into the skin a little bit better. Alright. So the next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and brush up the brow. Okay. And I'm actually going to use some brow powder to fill in my eyebrows. Sometimes I use powder, sometimes I use pencil. Today I'm going to use powder. And this is actually out of the Spice Chocolate quad that came out with, I believe it was Cult of Cherry. That was a collection previously launched by MAC. So it's a brown, a darker brown, but it does have some red in it as well. So that's going to keep it looking a little warmer and more richer. Versus sometimes flat browns can tend to look a little grayish or dusty. So definitely don't want that look. Just grab a angle brush. Okay, so I'm going to be using, see, a smaller angle brush like this to fill in the brow. And you don't need a ton of powder. I'm going to kind of go in and dip a couple of times. I actually like to start with a little bit and just kind of build up as I go. And then we'll kind of just pull and drag it out on the edge. Another thing, the concealer helps as well. When you're using powder, it helps the powder to glide on and slide on a little bit better. You want to make sure you check and make sure that both of the eyebrows are even. And as you can see, I'm putting a little more powder on the end than I am in the actual brow where it's a little bit fuller. Okay, and then kind of just checking to see the symmetry. And I like to bring it out a little bit past where the hair is. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, now that I have the concealer on and we have the brow filled in, I'm going to use a little bit of powder. And what that's going to do is set this concealer that we put on here, and it's also going to keep it from looking so white. As you can tell on this side, it's brighter, but it's still a little natural. And what I'm using is just the dark mineral powder. It's kind of like the duo. You have the dark mineral powder over here, and then a lighter highlighter that I won't be using today, but you certainly could if you wanted, you know, to have a lighter shimmer underneath the brow. You could definitely use that one. And also some powder on top, and I'm just using this same brush. And I'm just going to dust a little bit of powder on the eyelid too, to kind of knock down some of the shine. And I know my skin is super shiny right now, and that is mainly because I don't have on any foundation, powder, anything. I just cleanse my skin and put some moisturizer on. I'm going to also be doing a concealer, foundation, and powder video as well, because I get tons of requests for videos on concealer, powder, and foundation. And I also get a lot on brows. So we have our brows done here. And then you guys know I'm a little picky, so it just looks a little lighter here. And I just kind of want to fill that gap in so it's a little more concentrated. Okay. So go ahead and zoom in a little bit, and you guys can kind of see the brows filled in. And this color looks very natural. I stay away from blacks, even though my hair is black, because it tends to make your face look more harsh. So when you use lighter colors, it will soften your face up a lot. So that's why I recommend using a lighter color, something that is definitely lighter than your hair color. Unless your hair color is super, super light, then, you know, of course you wouldn't want to do that. So this is my brow tutorial, guys. I hope you guys learned something. Hope you liked it. Always, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to let me know. And you can always send me requests at diaryofamakeupartist@yahoo.com. You can also check me out on Twitter as well. I'm on Twitter, www.twitter.com/DMA makeup is my name on there. So you guys can find me on there, follow me, and tweet and chat with me on there. So I'm going to be moving on to the next video. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.